Hi guys, so I just put the chocolate chip cookies in the oven, the first batch in the oven. And I kind of wanted to talk about, well, before I start, I just put the chocolate chip cookies in the oven. These chocolate chip cookies are for the house, especially for my sweet, wonderful, amazing nephew. He's been wanting something sweet, a sweet treat after dinner, and lately we've been doing Ferrero Rochers, but I was like, it'd be nice to make something. So these are for him. I've been processing a little of what I saw of the interview between, or the conversation between Shannon Sharpe and Monique. I didn't watch the whole thing. To be fair, I didn't watch the whole thing. But where I saw it going, I was like, okay, I don't think this is going to be anything new that we haven't already seen or heard from her. And I saw people in the comment section saying like, yes, this is truth telling. We love Monique and blah, blah, blah. And I felt like I was living in an alternate universe. I'm like, are we watching the same thing? Because to me, this is not new. She's been saying these gripes that she has with Tyler Perry, with Monique, with D.L. Hughley for years now. And honestly, this is me just coming from the most genuine space. My biggest takeaway, you have to know when to move forward or move on and heal, in spite of not getting the apology that you feel like you deserve. I'm not saying that Tyler Perry or Oprah didn't do her wrong. I'm not saying that they don't owe her an apology. But what I can recognize is that they're not giving her one. They're not going to give her a public apology. They're not going to give her $10 million that she feels she's owed. Even if they do, look at what it took for you to get it. You had to publicly drag them and publicly humiliate them into giving you an apology. You can't force an apology from somebody who's not sorry. And I just wonder when does it stop? When does it stop? Because honestly, all of this foreshadows the work that she's done. I can't tell you something that I've watched from her or seen from her in recent years that I can say, ooh, I loved the work she did in XYZ show. All I associate her with is the people that she's upset with. Even the go back and forth between her and D.L. Hughley. D.L. Hughley said that she was an occupational hazard. Working with her is an occupational hazard. Because the way she spoke about him on the stage and he had to come out after her was vile. And the way she spoke of his family, vile. But it's all about her sweet babies and she's doing this for the greater good. I think my biggest takeaway was learn how to move on. No matter what you think somebody owes you, no matter what you feel like you should have been the outcome, learn how to move on and heal and move on to greater things. Because at this point, it's been at least 10 years, at the very least 10 years that she's been talking about the things that other people have done to her that have harmed her. And it's like, at what point do you focus on the work, focus on your craft, and make that the center stage? I can't tell somebody how to grieve. I can't tell somebody how to express their pain. But I look at this and I feel sad for her. I feel sad for her in that she's sitting there regurgitating the same things that we've heard over the years. And I don't see how it's anything new. I don't see how this is immaculate truth telling that needs to be given another platform. It's much easier to tear other people down or focus on what other people did to you, as opposed to what can you do to pick up the pieces and move forward. And I think that's a lesson for all of us in terms of like, okay, things will happen in life. Things will happen. People will hurt you and you will feel like you're owed an apology or you're owed whatever. And you may not ever get it. What now? Do you sit in it and stay there and focus on what you didn't get? Or do you pick up the pieces, seek a therapist, do the inner work, and create boundaries? The industry is bigger than Oprah. The industry is bigger than Tyler Perry. Sure, they may have a lot of connections or whatever, but when you're a star, no one can stop that. No one can stop that. And I hope that in the time that she has left in Hollywood, I hope that she's able to course correct and find a way to soar. But also for us, look at the time that we have left in life. Hopefully many of us will live long, healthy, prosperous lives. But in order to do that, we have to develop a certain mindset. We can't have a victim mentality. We can't focus on who did us wrong and how it impacted us negatively and what we feel like we're due. We have to focus on moving forward. You're going in circles. You're focusing on the thing that's not going to change. They're not apologizing. It doesn't matter if you send Kevin Hart. It doesn't matter if you send Stephanie Mills or whoever. It doesn't matter if you send Shannon Sharp. They're not apologizing. I just know for me, I wouldn't want my brand to become all about the people who have hurt me and me going off on them publicly. We've all been hurt in some way or another. All of us have hurt somebody, and all of us have been hurt. And I think that there's a way to deal with it and move forward. And publicly demanding an apology from somebody who's made it very clear they're not going to give it to you is not the way. It's just not. We've got it wrong in terms of truth telling. Like who is to say like this is her truth? But that's the thing, it's her truth. We don't know the other side of the story. We have no idea what's happened on the other end. And sometimes it's easy to judge and make one assumption. Oh yes, because she said it, it must be true. Because she's been saying it, it must be true. We really don't know the other side of the story. And because we don't know the other side, it's not fair or right to make harsh judgments about other people and their character. At one point she said, like, I'm not mad at them. I love them. No. Love doesn't do what you're doing. That's not love. It's not love. The way she spoke of Lee Daniels, Oprah Winfrey, and Tyler Perry on that stage years ago, that was not love. I think it's one thing to call people out for harmful behavior. There's space for that. But at what point do you say, okay, this has happened. I'm going to take legal action and move forward. You could do that. This is like, if somebody's hurt you, confront them about it. Hash it out. Deal with it and then move forward. Do not sit in it. Do not constantly talk about it over and over and over again. Because while you're sitting and talking about it, I guarantee you Tyler Perry's on his island. Oprah Winfrey's on her island. They're living their best life. They're living their lives while you stay in this pattern of speaking ill about them. And sure, it makes great TV for a moment. Sure, it'll garner a bunch of views for a moment. But what does it do to your soul in the long run? What is it? And I'm speaking even of us as regular people. What does it do for you to constantly talk about what somebody else did to you? It keeps you in that it keeps you there. It keeps you from an ability to heal. You're constantly going on and on about that one thing that hurt you, that bothered you, and you don't get to move forward because you're living in it. The more you talk through it and talk about it and process it and look at it from different angles, and it just does not help. Talk to a therapist, but then figure out a way to move forward. And I'm speaking to you as much as I'm speaking to myself in terms of what I've taken from that. I can't stay mad at people for forever. You can decide, look, these people aren't in my life anymore. But you could keep them in your heart the more you talk about all the things that they did to you that bothered you. Once you've hashed it out with a therapist or hashed it out with that person, find a way to move forward. Sure, there may be times when you think about it and you get upset and you cry and you're furious, but process it and move forward. You have to. If you want to live a full, healthy, whole life, you have to learn how to deal with the things that have bothered you, that have hurt you, that have harmed you. You have to learn how to process. You are responsible for doing the work. The healing is your responsibility. Healing is your responsibility. And when you refuse to do the work, you're making a choice not to move forward and live a healthy, whole life. And I don't want that for me, and I don't want that for you. Let's learn from this and move forward.